everyone, welcome to another episode of the QubicaAMF Tech Tip Podcast. This is a weekly podcast where we take you on a journey through the fascinating world of bowling technology and beyond. I am your host, Orly, and as always, we have a very great guest on today. We have a returning guest. We have Chris Shoup. Chris, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Orly. How's it going on your end, sir?
It's going great. So far, so good. Chris, you were on the show a few weeks ago, and well, let me step back a second here. I'm trying to jump the gun. First off, Chris, can you let everyone know what you do with QubicaAMF?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking. I have the privilege of working on our product management team. Specifically, I'm the department head for the aftermarket product team. And we focus on anything post-install or kind of ongoing operations within your center. That could be anything from repair parts or replacement parts to balls, shoes, pins. We also focus on some lane care products and some lane care chemicals, as well as some extended warranty products as well. So quite a bit in our portfolio, and I'm happy to be on today.
Okay, yeah, thanks again for coming back. So last time you were on the show, you talked shoe cleaning, when they might need new shoes, and if they don't quite need new shoes yet, just how to clean them, what to look for. Today, we're going to talk about something else that gets used quite a bit in the centers is house balls. So today, you're going to go a little bit over that, right, on how to clean them, what they look for when cleaning them, and maybe what to look for even if it's time for some new house balls, correct?
Exactly. And, as we sort of finished our piece on rental shoes, you and I quickly realized that there's going to be a whole series, I think, that's important for you and I to engage on. And the most sort of obvious product that a lot of people, that's visible to a lot of people in the center, and really a product that really encounters the most sort of action within the center, so to speak, is a bowling ball.
Yeah.
And so today I'd like to kind of go over just some really good best practices and some pro tips on how a center manager or any employee of the center or even any personal bowlers out there who may find this as a good refresher, how to really just, take care of a bowling ball and maybe remove some misconceptions out there that, bowling ball does need a little bit of love from time to time.
Yeah, exactly. I guess when you really think about it, you have, it's rolling down the lane, which has oil on it. It's getting dropped in areas it probably doesn't need to be. There's kids with sticky candy hands probably getting on it and people eating food. So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot that they could definitely use a cleaning.
You're exactly right, Orly. And similar to shoes, house balls need a lot of attention also to maintain their lifespan. Fortunately, unfortunately, a bowling ball doesn't last forever. If a bowling ball lasted forever, I don't think any of us would be in the bowling business per se. So it is something that does actually have a lifespan, believe it or not. I know it's kind of a big solid piece of moon rock, or at least that's what people think it is. But you really need to take care and maintain bowling balls to really maintain their full life expectancy, but more importantly, to maintain a consistent performance delivered by the bowling ball to the user.
Okay.
And bowling balls, obviously, they take a beating when they're thrown down, like you said, in oiled lanes several times a day, or obviously several times a minute or several times an hour. They come into a lot of contact, not only with the physical lane, but also with pins. They cycle through, all of the equipment, behind the pins, and they, obviously they get returned by the ball return. So there's a lot of touch points, if you will, a lot of mechanical travel that a bowling ball goes through. And also, let me just touch upon just briefly sort of what a bowling ball is made of. So to kind of put it into really super simple layman's terms, your typical bowling ball has a core that's a mixture of any sort of solid material, maybe with a little bit of air. And then more importantly, the outer edge of a typical house ball that you would partner with QubicaAMF on is made out of urethane with a top coat. And urethane is actually a little bit porous over time. And why that's important to mention is, like you just said, Orly, a porous product, it will absorb oil, dirt, grit. It'll actually pick up some contaminants, not only from the lane, but also, like you said, from the user, from anyone with sticky hands, bubble gum, nacho cheese. So if you leave a ball in time that's not cleaned, you're basically going to have a big, sticky, inconsistent product that your users are going to, pay attention to over time. So super important things today. Now, I wanted to kind of touch upon a couple different general best practices or some general things that you can use to clean your bowling balls at a typical center. And those are using alcohol. So using basic alcohol over the counter as a cleaner, using dish soap as a cleaner, and then getting into kind of more of those professional level cleaners.
Okay.
So let me start with alcohol. So alcohol is a pretty, generally used cleaner, not only in the bowling industry, but really in a lot of different industries, a lot of different products. Like I said earlier, the performance and the reaction of a bowling ball is really thrown off by just a little bit of oil or even a scuff mark on the ball. So wax is actually picked up from the lane sometimes, not only oil, but sometimes wax. If there's any sort of wax coating on the lane, that actually gets absorbed into the ball or sort of kind of attracted to the ball. And that'll obviously cause unwanted buildup on the ball surface. You have that, your ball starts to deform, it starts to lose its consistency, even on the straight rollers out there for open play or family play centers. So cleaning a ball's porous outer surface with rubbing alcohol will do a really good job with removing dirt, grease, and grime, just as you would in any other sort of general setting. So what I'd like to recommend is with alcohol, wipe the ball down vigorously with an alcohol-soaked towel or microfiber cloth as soon as possible after bowling. Now, it's probably not, it's probably not a capability of the center or the front desk manager to do that in between every play. So if there's a time built into sort of the method of operation of the center, I always like to recommend wipe the balls down after, you close down for the evening or as often as possible. Now, with that being said, alcohol is good as kind of a surface acting agent, right? Here's definitely a do not soak the entire ball in a bucket of alcohol for any amount of time. So you don't want to dunk the ball and then walk away, or you don't want to, take it out back in a big canister and dump a bunch of alcohol on it. That's a no-no. So use alcohol just with a cloth to sort of give it a good surface wiping. And then obviously alcohol needs to evaporate off. So make sure that it dries out. Just takes a minute or two for the ball to dry off. And this is a really good kind of general best practice. The next material that I want to get into is using dish soap, over-the-counter dish soap. So again, dish soap is, the whole dish soap industry is sort of marketed or angled with dish soap as a benign product. It's safe to use with kids, with pets, so dish soap is another really good kind of benign general product. And again, our goal here is to remove all dirt and contaminants off the ball. And dish soap does a really good job with dishes. So in theory, right, it also would do a good job with bowling balls.
Okay.
So again, dishwasher or dish soap detergents, they do a really good, decent job of removing foreign material from the surface of the bowling ball also. Now, here is actually where you can soak the ball. So soak the ball in a tub for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then scrub it off with a soft bristled brush. Okay. Now, when I say soft bristled brush, kind of similar to what I said in our conversation about shoes, think of something like a baby's brush or like a beard brush, something super, super soft. Because again, you do not want to, scarify or chip the outer edge of the ball. So again, less is more. And then, like I said, just sort of in general, don't soak the ball for any longer than 10 or 15 minutes. If you soak it for, 20, 30, 40 minutes, then the ball will actually start sucking up water, believe it or not. And then that'll lead to warping of the ball. So, right. Dish soap, again, there's a couple different ways there. Good surface level cleaner, or you can actually sort of let it soak almost like a set of dirty dishes, but not for too long.
Okay.
So again, alcohol and dish soap are really good surface level wipe down type of agents. And then we kind of get into the professional level stuff. Now, again, professional level stuff is probably a little bit more specific to the budget or the know-how of a center. The bowling center that I grew up as a youth bowler, they actually did use professional level cleaners. They also had a ball polishing machine. Didn't really get used that much because I think a lot of sort of, average bowlers were a little intimidated or kind of didn't know what it did or what it was used for. But it was cool. It was always sort of a good talking point of what that big machine did. So professional level cleaners typically come in liquid or a gel form. Even the professional level cleaners are usually alcohol based.
Okay.
So again, kind of back to that common agent of alcohol. They're also called ball polishers or ball polishing agents. So polishing agent is just a generic term for ball cleaner. They regularly clean your ball and also give it a nice shine. So some of the professional level stuff kind of gives your ball an extra shine. looks new, it has a little bit better aesthetic to it. Some ball cleaners will actually have additional added degreasers or surfactants. And surfactants is a fancy term for surface acting agent, basically something kind of like dish soap that cuts through the grease, cuts through the grime, so you can easily wipe away that stubborn dirt.
Okay.
Surfactant cleaners, they actually raise dirt up out of the microscopic pores of the ball. Remember, everyone, when I said a bowling ball is actually porous. So if you use a surfactant or professional level cleaner, that'll actually lift whatever the ball has absorbed recently back out to the surface, so you can then wipe it down and polish it up. As you'll see, if you've ever watched like a PBA event or any professional level event televised on TV, you'll see a lot of the professional bowlers in between each roll get out their ball rag, and
Yeah.
they'll actually polish their ball sort of in mid play. Well, that's because that ball, even from a roll or two, has already sucked up some of the oil pattern from the lane. So that's actually what those bowlers are doing. They're actually wiping away the excess oil so it doesn't affect the action, so to speak, of the ball or the performance of the lane pattern. A little bit more on the pro end, but that's kind of what they're doing. So again, after you use professional level agent, it brings all the dirt and grease to the surface. Again, you simply wipe down the ball with that alcohol-based professional cleaner, and that'll remove any loosened dirt. Like I said earlier, some centers invest in ball spinners or ball polishers. Again, that was a little bit of a legacy product. Folks just sort of, use really good hands-on stuff now, especially in family or open play centers. Because once you put it in a professional polisher, you got to rotate the ball. You really should know what you're doing, obviously, and that's obviously an added expense to the center. So, good best practices, kind of how to maintain the surface of a typical house ball. And then I get asked a lot of times, Orly, well, okay, that's cool and all, Chris, but there's finger holes in a ball.
Yeah.
How do I clean that? How do I clean those? Well, that's a good question, because the finger holes are actually drilled down through the outer urethane coating into kind of that, approaching that core material. So it's a little bit different of an animal, but not so different that you have to wildly change your best practices. So my recommendation to clean out the finger holes is to, obviously, you need something that can fit into the finger holes. So I typically have a toothbrush in my bag.
Okay.
So again, soft bristle toothbrush or something like that, super soft bristle, something that'll fit down into the finger holes. And then I typically use some kind of mild detergent solution. I actually personally use a little dish soap. Again, just kind of gets done in there. It's a benign product. It's easily clean. It's easily, removed. It removes dirt, does all the good job. So first, typically just make a little solution of dish soap. Again, sort of like you would be doing at home with your dirty dishes after dinner. Mix a little detergent with some warm water in a cup or a bowl or a bucket. Get your toothbrush ready, and then just simply, just sort of core out the finger holes with your toothbrush, and that's really about it. After you're done that, you can run the balls under a little splash of water. Again, we're not soaking the ball; we're just giving a little splash to get all the soap suds out of the finger holes, and then dry it with the towel. Again, make sure that the balls are dried before they go back into storage. Hopefully, you have one of Qubica's wonderful, open air ball rack systems. If you don't, again, just make sure that it's in a space where it can fully dry out. Again, think of a porous product when you're dealing with bowling balls. And again, something else that needs to regularly be cleaned. I'll tell you, I don't know how many times, just as a weekend bowler, I take my kids out, Orly. The balls look phenomenal. They're organized, they're clean, they're shiny. I stick my finger in something, and man, am I surprised by something gooey and melted waiting on me on the finger hole.
Right, right. All right. So just a little recap here. Alcohol, do not soak it in a tub of alcohol. Dish soap you can soak for a little bit of time. And I kind of feel like this could have been even an infomercial. I could picture you kind of showing everybody, all right, you're going to dip it in this thing, and then maybe stay tuned for that. Maybe we'll get an infomercial with Chris showing how to actually clean the balls here. And then is there any, like, do not do this? It's an absolutely don't, like, is there anything you leave us with when it comes to that?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for asking. So with all the best practices, there usually comes some worst practices. So good call out. So some things not to do, everyone, okay? Never clean a urethane ball with chemical solvents, such as acetone or I'm going to throw out a fancy word here, methyl ethyl ketone, or MEKs. MEKs is kind of a general family of chemicals. Again, hopefully you shouldn't have any of these anywhere near balls in your center. These are these are very grown up chemicals, so don't ever have any MEKs floating around your bowling balls. Acetone can be found in a lot of aerosol type of products. So again, just read your labels before you start spraying anything on something that you're not sure what it does. And then, of course, avoid any corrosive or abrasive cleaners. You don't want to use anything that's acidic based or basic in nature that will literally chemically eat away at something, right? So don't use don't use some old school Comet and scrub it down with a wire brush or anything like that. So just think gentle, think as if you were like washing something gentle, like a piece of fruit or something in your sink. So think gentle, think benign, think low low chemical dense products like the ones we reviewed. And then also big shout out here, and I've seen it happen. Do not use your shoe deodorizers on bowling balls. That's a big no-no. So I know you may be tempted to line your shoes up and give them all a spritz of the deodorizer and then hit your bowling balls up with the same stuff. Don't do that. It will eat away your ball, because again, most shoe aerosols have acetone or acetone compounds in them. So that's a big no-no.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've seen, not with the balls, but I've seen staff before, they don't see like a table cleaner and they kind of start looking around, what else sprays around here? And, then they're grabbing. So you just never know. Yeah. You never know what someone's going to spray on it. Well, Chris, I appreciate you coming on the show. Folks, if you are new to the show, make sure to give us a follow, share with your friends. We are available on all podcast platforms. And go back and listen to past shows. We have a lot of great guests on the show that give you a lot of great tech tips. So, Chris, until next time, I really appreciate you doing the show, and we hope that we can have you back again.
Thanks, Orly. Pleasure to be aboard, sir.
We'll talk to everyone soon.